The Author's Universe 25, The Mess 1. The Author's Universe. The Author's Universe and the massive expanding spatial system, the Mess, are two parts of the main arena of the Author's Universe, created in a simulated laboratory, also known as the Author's Library, which the watchers can see, the viewers can respond to, and the reader can comment upon, as the author can too. See The Author's Universe 17, The Watchers 1. Welcome. Thank you for being there, and welcome to the Author's Universe. The Mess. The massive expanding spatial system, the Mess, is a constantly growing panoply of ideas, created by the presence of characters that make up that part of the Author's universe which the watchers, the viewers, the readers and the author can observe, of which this is a part. See The Author's Universe 17, The Watchers 1. The Ripples. If this has been forwarded to you by someone other than the author, then, like the waves of an ocean, you are in the ripples of a notion, but equally as welcome. But remember, the Author's Universe defined. The Author's Universe is what the author has in mind, and the words the Author's Universe, referring to the work of the Author's Universe, provided by the author for the work of the Author's Universe, is the Author's Universe, and not what other forces say it is or is not. Signed, the author. The author's work. The Author's Universe is, here, a written and a videographic work, and materially exists virtually as a two-dimensional plane, also referred to as the planes of Roysphere, where the author places letters and pictures, also known as characters, which form the Author's universe. The letters forming words, sentences and more. It is the massive expanding spatial system, the Mess. See The Author's Universe 17, The Watchers 1. The Watcher. You are the watcher, and what you recall of what you have read is not what you saw, but what you have thought of. For what you have seen, what you are currently seeing, and what you shall continue to see is a code. A new dimension. An amalgamation of all these dimensional characters, when put together in a particular way, can provide the watchers, the viewers, the readers and the author with a race of ideas of a third or fourth dimensional vision in mind. If time is of another dimension, see the author's universe 17, the watcher's 1. The code. The code is a written language, and if you can read it, you can more easily understand it. Otherwise, it is a page full of pictographs, lines, dots, and the space surrounding them. Picture this. Imagine you are watching a video on a flat screen monitor. You are sure that what you see is three-dimensional. It is something with depth, but it only appears on a two-dimensional plane. See the author's universe 17, the watcher's 1. The red. The spirit of the sizable portion of the code that you have read this far has appeared like you might be looking at creatures in a petri dish. The plane. You are looking at this video on a two-dimensional plane which the Zyborn and the Zyborn X will call Roysphere, but the author calls it the Massive Expanding Spatial System, the MESS, and it is the arena upon which the author's universe takes shape. See the author's universe 17, the watcher's 1. The petri dish. The pictographs, these lines, dots and surrounding space, are many characters in their ranks and files, obeying their orders to the letter, to the exacting measures of the author, of the universe they occupy. This two-dimensional plane, injected from the realm in which you, the watcher, and the author occupy, of a third dimension. The focal point. Above the mess, or planes of Roysphere, is focal point, where the author was to create this portion of the author's universe, and where the watchers, the viewers, the readers and the author are to see it. See the author's universe 17, the watcher's 1. Perception. Your perception of the characters in this, the author's universe, have been described as a school of fish and a fleet of ships heading for ascension, and of only one who achieved that. In space. Focal point is like a geostationary position above the two-dimensional plane Roysphere, or the mess, existing in a third dimension and outside of the time frame of the planes of the Roy stem, the race of ideas of space, time and matter, the Roy art, the race of ideas of awareness responsive thought, and out of the time frame of the Roy, the really orderly inhabitants, all of whom are characters in the author's universe. See the author's universe 17, the watcher's 1. The test tube. Now that operation is over, the contents are placed in another sphere, another vessel, another petri dish. Though for you, the watcher, it's another place in the very same container, the very same vessel, the very same petri dish, as it is all the very same window through which it shall be viewed. Nothing from your perspective has changed. Is this clear? This is the status of Roysphere and the mess of the author's universe. Do you understand, and is this clear? Your comments are required, but only the reader is able to respond. See the author's universe 17, the Watchers 1. Chosen. The author has brought these chosen characters together, knowing what is required of them, which they have no idea of. But you, the watcher, might have a race of ideas telling you what is taking place. Like a book. Choose any book you want. Choose your topic, fiction or non-fiction. It is of that author's universe, and you are the reader of its contents. But you do not see the race of ideas that were poured into it, that have not been turned into print or hinted at. See the author's universe 17, the Watchers 1. Experience. You, the watcher, inhale the spirit of these characters, not knowing what they have to fulfill, but I am informing you, from there shall come a wonderful experience. We, together, observe. The reader's response. Like a child is seen reading a book, the watcher watching a watcher of another author.